For a decade, Elvis Andrus has provided the spark that ignited the Rangers' most successful period in their history. We've seen him grow, from a rookie who announced his big league arrival with flair,
Andrus sends one in the right center field,
to the veteran leader who makes the big play when it's needed most.
Base hit, and that'll do it. And the Rangers have walked it off on the Royals.
He is the consummate professional, but not afraid to have a little fun, too. Elvis Andrus is the heartbeat of the Rangers.
Rangers baseball is brought to you by Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. Well, here we are in San Diego, beautiful Petco Park on a gorgeous evening for baseball. Rangers and Padres, it's interleague baseball from Southern California. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again tonight. I'm Dave Raymond alongside America's favorite baseball analyst, Tom Grieve. And the Rangers taking another stab at the opener concept tonight. This will be their third go-round. Connor Sadzik will get the start tonight.
Yeah, and Connor came up as a starting pitcher into professional baseball, so it won't be his first start. He's transitioned into the bullpen, and he's done well since his recall to the big leagues in September. He's had 5 appearances. He's thrown 3 1/3 innings, hasn't given up an earned run. Opponents are only hitting a little over 200 against him. So we'll see whether he goes 1 or 2 innings tonight, depends on the pitch count. But then will be Yohander Mendez. 2 starts for him since his recall.
Yeah.
Pitched pretty well. Thrown 10 innings, only given up a couple of earned runs. His first start was much better than his second start. In his first start, 3 hits, no runs, only 79 pitches. In his second start, he had to throw 87 pitches to get through 4 innings.
As we mentioned, they have done this before. Last time, it was Jeffrey Springs and then Ariel Jurado, so a couple of different guys getting the opportunity today. For more on the opener concept as it pertains to tonight, let's check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dave. And as Doug Brocail, the Rangers pitching coach, said, this is a brave new world. Not just the idea of using the opener, but for him, a couple of guys who are so young in this position and in this role. He talks about how when he makes mound visits out to talk to Connor Sadzik, he sometimes needs to ask him, are you breathing? Are you sure you're breathing? Because he is young and nervous at this level, and technically this will be Sadzik's first start in the big leagues, although, as we've mentioned, the primary pitcher, technically the starting pitcher for tonight's game, is Yohander Mendez, and Mendez has done a good job too. In fact, Brocail says that his odyssey, going all the way back to high A, then to double A, back to triple A, and finally back to the big leagues, has really made him grow up. It's made him a better person, and it's made him a better pitcher. If all that works in concert tonight, then the opener will be a successful test run again tonight. Guys, let's take it back up to you.
Yeah, some interesting side storylines to both of these guys tonight, along with the opener concept. Well, they're going against the San Diego Padres, a Padres team now in another year of rebuild, but a Padres team that really has been quite successful, at least out of their bullpen.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great year overall for the Padres. They haven't won as many games as they would hope to have won, but their bullpen has really been throwing the ball well. In their last 4 games, they've had to throw a lot of innings, 15 1/3, but they've only given up 1 earned run, 21 strikeouts in 15 innings. For the year, the bullpen leads the National League in strikeouts and has allowed the fewest base runners per 9 innings. So they've had to trade some of their guys. Brad Hand, their closer, was traded. There's a lot of good arms left out there in that Padre bullpen.
All right, a lot of pitching talk so far. For good pitching, you need good defense. How about the corner infielders in this one? You're with me, Leather. When we come back, it's the language of glove in the spotlight.
Rangers baseball is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. By the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Welcome back to San Diego, Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres. Rangers and Padres, opening game of this 3-game series. Time now for our Shiner Wicked Juicy Spotlight tonight. Now we're talking about the great glove men on the corners. Beltre at third for the Rangers. Eric Hosmer at first. for the Padres, and the two of them among active players, the most Gold Gloves at their positions. We should see some good defense in this series.
Yeah, of course, we know all about Adrian. We've watched him play for a long time. Eric Hosmer's a terrific defensive player. He's got great hands, and in high school, he was a pitcher who threw about 100 miles an hour. Could easily play right field the way he throws. He's a good one.
Saw some good defense hopefully on tap for us tonight. It is the final time this year that Rangers pitchers will hit interleague baseball in San Diego coming up.
Rangers baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA.
Down, and we're ready for baseball tonight. As we mentioned, the first game of 3 here. Yeah, the old Western Metal Supply Company down the left field line. Interesting story about that building we might get into a little bit later on tonight. It's a struggling San Diego Padres team, though, at 59 and 88. And they are well out of it in the National League West. The Rangers, too, well out of it in the American League West. 62 wins and 84 losses. And both teams, you know, looking toward the future, developing some of the young players and hoping for better next year. As the Padres take the field, let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. This is game number 147 this year, and Delano DeShields will lead it off in center field. Shin-Soo Choo in left, bat second. Elvis Andrus will play shortstop and bat third. In the middle of the order, Mazzara, Beltre, and Rougned Odor at second base. Profar at first, Kiner Falefa catching, and of course the pitcher, Connor Sadzik, will bat ninth.
Take a look at the Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA pitch arsenal for Robbie Erlin. He'll throw a 2-seam fastball and a 4-seam fastball about the same amount of the time, about 60% fastballs, and then he'll mix in a curveball and a changeup, only an occasional slider. So a lot of fastballs, good curveball, and a changeup. Padres defense is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Hunter Renfroe in left field, Franmil Reyes in right field, Manuel Margot will play center field. In the infield, Will Myers moving over and playing third base. Freddie Galvis is at shortstop. Jose Pereira is at second. Eric Hosmer, free agent signing, excellent former Kansas City Royals first baseman, will play first, and Francisco Mejia is behind the plate.
So as we mentioned, this is the last of the interleague play this year for the Rangers. And we talk about interleague play for years. It seems it has been dominated by American League teams. Not the case this year. A lot of National League talent this season, and a very top-heavy American League. It's led to the National League with the advantage by 14 games so far. They've hit for a higher average, hit for better power. The American League a little better on the bases, and then the National League a slightly better ERA. Well, that's just the inverse of what we were used to seeing, let's say, for the, I don't know, previous 100 years. It was always the National League running and the American League slugging.
And the American League winning.
Well, see if the Rangers can turn that trend back on its ear tonight. Jeff Bannister, there's Andy Green, the skipper of the Padres. And Delano DeShields ready to lead it off. First pitch to him, very high, ball one, and we are underway. .75 degrees. Their game time tonight. That one fouled back. 1-1 on DeShields.
Robbie Erlin was a third-round draft pick by the Rangers back in 2009. Along with Joe Weiland, he was traded back in a pennant race for Mike Adams, who came over, joined the Ranger bullpen. He's coming back from some Tommy John surgery. 2016, he only pitched 15 2/3 innings in the major leagues, and then last year he didn't pitch at all. So it's been a long road back for him. He's feeling pretty good about where he is right now.
Well, still just 27 years old. This is his 10th start of the year. He has also pitched out of the bullpen some 25 times this season. First start he's ever made against his old club. And he misses outside. It's a full count on to Shields. He has pitched in relief against the Rangers once, and that was back in late June this year at Globe Life Park. He went 2 1/3 in that one. Shields spoils that pitch and keeps the count full.
Delino with a full count. If he walks, that would be an upset because Robbie Erlin hardly walks anybody. He walks less than one batter per 9 innings. He only walked 10 batters in 93 innings this year.
His payoff on the way. And this one right back up the middle. That's a base hit. Delino really nice at bat. 7 pitches before he eventually singles to center. All right, time now for Shin-Soo Choo taking on the San Diego Padres, brought to you by AARP. Last 10 games against the Padres, Choo at .389 with an OPS over 1,000. Let's see if he's able to continue that little trend. 1 for 3 Wednesday with a walk in the final game of our series in Anaheim. Lefty on lefty, he takes a strike.
I'd love to see all the Rangers finish strong, obviously, but one guy I'd really like to see finish strong is Delino. He's had a couple of injuries this year, and that set him back. He's struggled. His last 71 bats, he's only hitting about 113, but he's so much better than that, and he can be so valuable to the organization. He's become an above-average center fielder, and he brings something to the table at the leadoff spot that the Rangers don't have.
Now he's running. The pitch is up and in. The throw down to second base is in time. Good pick by Galvis to get the tag on Delino. And that is out number 1. Just the 4th time this year that the Shields has been caught.
Well, Delino's not too sure. He's going to hang around until the Rangers check. But just to finish the thought on Delino, but a leadoff hitter, if he can get on base 35% of the time, steal bases, make things happen, it's just a role that the Rangers really could use, and he's proven that he can do that. So for him to finish strong, I think would be good for him, good for the team going into spring training next year. I hope it works out that way. Francisco Mejia, the young catcher, came over in a trade from the Indians. Brad Hand, the excellent closer from San Diego, went to Cleveland. They acquired one of the best catching prospects in baseball. Strong arm behind the plate. Got to see it right there.
1-2 to Choo. And just swing and a miss. So he strikes out. 2 away.
Good fastball right on the outside corner. Well located. And you'd have to think a guy that walks less than 1 per 9 innings can also command his pitches pretty well too, which he did right there with a good fastball.
So base is empty for Elvis Andrus. Erlin's first pitch, and this one fouled over to the right side, out of play. Elvis, .261 average, 6 homers, and 31 RBIs. You talk about a guy who's had his season interrupted by injury. Andrus, his first ever trip to the disabled list this year, and he spent 2 months there. 1-1. And this was a year Elvis was really looking forward to 2018, coming off a terrific season last season. Hope to maybe even improve on those numbers, but it wasn't to be. And in fact, he told me in the offseason one of his big goals was to get back to stealing a lot of bases, was hoping for a 40 steal season, but With 2 months out, not going to get anywhere near that. Recently turned 30 years old. The 1-2 pitch. He swings and misses, strike 3. So Erlin pretty strong. Top of the first inning for the Padres. And now Connor Sadzik out to make his first big league start. Yeah, for the Rangers and now the Padres, 59-88. Mentioned earlier, they're out of it in the West. 22.5 games back of Colorado and eliminated from postseason contention. We take a look at their starting lineup. Francisco Mejia will lead things off. Will Myers at third base, bat second. Hunter Renfroe on left. It's Hosmer, Franmil Reyes in right field. Freddie Galvis the shortstop, and then Perella, Margot, and the pitcher Robbie Erlin rounding it out. All against Connor Sadzik.
It's probably a little bit unusual for a young catcher to be called up to the big leagues and lead off. Didn't think that's happened very often.
No, and this is just his 8th game in the big leagues. His 4th start behind the plate. And you mentioned earlier, one of the really bright prospects and one of the top catching prospects in recent years. You see the numbers, 5 for 19 to get to that .238 average.
Trades tend to work out well for young players because they're going to a team that sometimes is rebuilding, like the Padres, and he can grow up with the young players the Padres have. As good a prospect as he is, I'm sure he would have gotten his opportunity in Cleveland, but I think the Padres are a great place for him. Come here, be a regular catcher. They've got really good farm system, other young players that'll be joining the Padres over the next year and a half, and so he can be part of that. Great reputation as an offensive player.
He's just 22 years old. He takes up and away. 3-0 the count. He's a switch hitter, but he only began switch hitting like 4 years ago. He was 16 years old in the Dominican when his coach told him, well, why don't you try hitting from the other side as well? Improve his game a little bit. He's a small guy, not a real big catcher. And it felt like, well, if they could add something else to the offensive repertoire, that might help in his case. And indeed, as we pointed out here, he has become now one of the top young players in this organization. Sadzik's 3-1. And that is off the plate. So Mejia takes the walk.
Let's take a look at the Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA pitch arsenal for Connor Sadzik. A lot of fastballs, and if you throw 96 to 98 miles an hour, you will probably tend to throw a lot of fastballs. He'll also throw a changeup and a slider. He's started off pretty well. He's had 5 appearances, 3 1/3 innings, hasn't given up an earned run yet. And the Rangers are giving him a great opportunity in September. They're not pitching him for long stints, but they're giving him a lot of opportunities. So he's pitched frequently in short stints. Not exactly sure how long he will pitch today. We've seen the closer for the Rangers, it's been Jeffrey Springs, go 2 innings and 3 innings. Doubt that Connor will go 3 innings. Definitely go 1 if he gets through the first inning, and then depending on his pitch count, maybe 2.
26 years old. Checks in on Mejia, not going anywhere. So his first major league start, 6th overall appearance in the big leagues. Originally an 11th round pick back in 2011. It's inside 1-1. Now he had spent most of his developmental years as a starter. Last year moved to the bullpen, and that's a case, like, I don't know what percentage of the time, Tom, but when you're the general manager, you have a good pitching prospect, you want him just to get innings, right? So you start him. Even if they do profile as a reliever long term?
I think generally speaking, and there's exceptions to this, but I would say this is true, that if a kid can grow up and become a starting pitcher, he's more valuable than if he grows up and becomes a reliever. And so it's a combination of you get to work on a lot of different pitches, you get to throw more innings, and hopefully you develop into a very valuable big league starting pitcher. Sometimes a pitcher might not have a repertoire of a lot of different pitches. He throws hard, has a hard breaking ball, has trouble coming up with a slower pitch, and he'll profile more as a relief pitcher, and they may transition into that role. You see that more frequently than guys who grow up as relievers and then transition into starters. That doesn't happen quite as much. You also see a lot of starting pitchers. Wade Davis, I keep going back to him. He's one of them who were good starters, but then become relievers and start throwing 5 or 6 miles an hour harder than they ever did and turn into star relievers.
Ground ball to third. Rangers with a chance to turn 2, and they do it. Beltre to Odor to Profar. And that will help a pitcher out a little bit. Around the horn for 2.
You couldn't ask for a better ball to be hit to a better guy. Nice hop for Adrian. And they turn that one easily.
We just talked about all his Gold Gloves, 5 of them, most of any active third baseman. Fitting that Beltre would turn in a double play in the first. Now Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe hitting .258 for the year with 22 home runs. And that one called a ball. It looked like a pretty good pitch. You see the numbers for Renfroe. He leads the Padres with those 22 home runs. One and one the count. This guy does have a lot of power in that bat, despite that 22 home run number, which leads a team. You might think, well, it's not that many, and it isn't. But in this ballpark, it's one thing to keep in mind, and in this division. This is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. It's very much a pitcher-friendly division.
The other thing, Dave, is he's hit 8 of them in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So he's starting to put the home run swing on the ball now.
You look at the home run leaders for the teams with the fewest home runs by their leaders, and Renfroe right there, 4th fewest. Bouncer at third base. And Beltre will take care of Renfroe for a quick bottom of the first. So neither team able to get anything going in the first inning. We're scoreless to the second. By CC's Pizza. Head to CC's Buffet for new endless pan pizzas available in Meat Eater and Supreme. Well, beautiful night tonight here in San Diego. We go to the second inning. Omar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, and Rougned Odor. Now, Robbie Erlin, nice job in the first inning for him. The former Ranger deals high to Mazara, ball 1. No 10th start of the season for him. Padres feel like they have a good number of young pitchers.
Wow, look at
how about that broken
beat
bat roller, and it was just enough of a distraction that Mazara gets an infield hit. I feel bad for Pirela. Not much you could do there. You had to wait out the barrel of the bat, and Mazara gets a base hit out of it.
You know, you've seen a lot of bats go in the direction of the fielder. That's the first one that went right at the fielder and would have hit him if he didn't get out of the way. He had no choice but to sidestep that bat. And then he didn't have time to make the throw to first base. That's getting some distance out of a broken bat. You can see where that ball hit, down near his hands. And that thing, you have to get out of the way of that bat. The way it's spinning with a jagged edge, you just can't sit there and take it off the shin and to field a ground ball.
Well, first pitch strike to Adrian Beltre. 12 homers, 55 RBIs for the veteran third baseman. Mazara not much of a distraction over at first. Beltre takes strike 2. Well, Adrian's fallen on some hard times lately. Hitless in his last 13 at bats. Went 0 for 11 in Anaheim. A place where in his long 21-year career he'd had a lot of success. Stays 0-2. Even with that cold stretch, 4 home runs in the last 11 games for Adrian. Mazara off first. The pitch way inside. That one gets away, in fact, to Mazara. Will scamper to second base. And a wild pitch.
Well, the young catcher, Francisco Mejia, shifted his weight, blocked it with his chest, but it still kind of kicked off the side of his chest. Did as well as he could to try to block that ball.
Mazara with a small lead off second base now, and a curveball swung on and missed. Beltre strikes out. That's 3 strikeouts for Erlin now.
He has a good combination of pitches. His fastball not overpowering velocity wise, but he has excellent command with it. Not really a strikeout pitcher. Struck out 75 in 93 innings. So far in this game he is, though. I guess nowadays, Dave, to talk about a strikeout pitcher, you have to begin the conversation with a guy that struck out at least a batter per inning. So many of them now, especially in the bullpen.
Well, the strikeout has become so prevalent, almost necessary now. And you're right. I mean, it was once a good strikeout per 9 ratio. Let's call it 7 strikeouts per 9 would have been pretty decent. That's almost laughable.
Yeah, he
now.
pitches to contact.
Yeah, he's a ground ball pitcher. Yeah, it's crazy.
Strikeout totals have gone up every year for 10 or 12 years. I don't know the exact amount of years, but it's over 10 years. Every year they go up.
Wanted to the count on Odor. See Rugi with the 18 home runs, 63 RBIs. But like a lot of these Rangers hitters, they've kind of hit a rough patch lately. In Odor, the last 19 games, hitting 187. That's still, even with that long stretch of rough times for Odor, he still has some of the better numbers of all hitters in the American League since the All-Star break. The second half has been good to him. Check a second. Odor lays off that one, 2-2. Odor dropped down in the order today, down to 6th for Jeff Bannister. We'll continue to see DeShields in the leadoff spot in an effort to maybe get him started and see what this lineup looks like with a little more speed up top. But with Odor's struggles, he's slid down the order a little, and he strikes out here, 2 away. That's 4 strikeouts for Erlin.
A very similar pitch to the pitch that Shin-Soo Choo struck out on. Fastball. That looked like a cut fastball. One Choo struck out on was more of a 4-seam fastball. That one had a little bit of movement on it, 89 miles an hour. Both of them located in the same spot, though, right on the outside corner.
So now Jurickson Profar. Swings and misses at strike one. Profar too has slowed down a little bit, and yet career high in just about every offensive category this year. Hits, walks, runs scored. Has a team high 32 doubles. Personal high so far in home runs and RBIs. So it's been a really good year. And he hits this ball hard over short. That's a base hit into left field. Mazzara around third does not have great speed. Renfroe's throw offline. Mazzara scores on the double by Profar, and the Rangers get the first run of the night.
Yeah, that ball was really hit hard. Profar hit about as hard a line drive as he can hit. And so it gets to Renfroe quickly. The problem is it got to him so quickly when he fielded it, he was still pretty deep out in left field. He has a strong arm. He made a pretty good throw. Because it was hit so hard, he almost caught it flat-footed, has to take a bunch of steps. But he comes up with a pretty strong throw, just a little bit offline. A well-hit ball by Profar. Picks up the RBI.
Yeah, base hit, a single, and then Profar moves up to second on the throw. Not a double. But he is in scoring position for Kiner Falefa. 1-0 Rangers. And that one is wide for ball one. C.B. Buckner, a home plate umpire, after that pitch, walked out to the left-handed batter's box, picked up a couple of things, and stomped on the dirt like he was, I don't know, maybe repairing a ball mark on the green or something. Gonna get it nice and tidy. Snap throw down to second base. Profar wasn't that far off.
I mean, here we've seen him throw out Delano DeShields and make that throw. He's got a strong arm. Heard that he had a strong arm right off the bat in this game. We've seen it.
So 1 ball, 1 strike. This ball hit towards short, snared out there by Galvis. So the inning is done. The Rangers will have to settle for the 1 run. They'll leave Profar in scoring position. After 1.5, it's 1-0. After the Profar RBI single, time now for our Who's In, Who's Out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Well, Connor Sadzik is out, and Yohander Mendez is in for the Rangers.
Take a look at his pitch arsenal. 43% 4-seam fastballs, changeup, slider, and the 2-seam fastball, all used about the same amount of time. 1 inning for Connor Sadzik. He cruised through that 1 inning, but that must have been the schedule. 1 inning, no matter how many pitches it was. Double play helped, but nice clean inning for Connor. He did walk a batter, but he was erased on the double play.
Of course, Sadzik can't get the win. He didn't go the requisite 5 innings, even though the Rangers took the lead with him in the game. Pitch from Mendez, and that one lined up into the seats foul. 1-1. Okay, so this is the 3rd time now that the Rangers have used the quote-unquote opener. And it's the shortest that they've asked the opener to go, just the 1 scoreless inning. And I get the sense that they're still just tinkering. I mean, you're just trying to get a feel for what works, what doesn't, you know, how it affects the starting or primary pitcher, if you will.
Yeah.
2-2. But I have a hard time after, you know, after that scoreless first inning, and now, you know, Yohander comes in the game. I just wonder myself, well, what did we accomplish? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I guess if you're trying to protect a young pitcher, and analytics will show that whatever, the 3rd time through the lineup, the 4th time through the lineup, a pitcher doesn't do quite as well, then you can start someone like Connor, let him go an inning, pitch to 4 or 5 batters, and then when the starter comes into the game, that will be 1 less time the key guys in the lineup will face him. And I can see doing it in that situation. But I really would not see a situation where if you had a frontline starting pitcher that you would do it to him. Just wouldn't see that. As much as Tampa Bay has done it, when Blake Snell pitches, he starts the game. You know, he's one of the best pitchers in the American League. So that's, you know, it might not be a perfect example. You know he's going to start, but I think even your second and third starters, if they're very competent guys who you feel very comfortable, can go 6 or 7 innings, then I don't know that that would be something you'd want to use. But maybe for the 4th and 5th starters, or for a young starter, you're trying to limit his innings, that might be a distinct possibility and a way to utilize it.
And Jeff Bannister's been pretty upfront about all of it. You know, we're trying to figure it out ourselves and trying to see how it works, what it looks like. Is Franmil Reyes, the hitter now, big, strong, right-handed hitter, and he hits this ball hard over short. And Reyes with the first Padres hit of the night. They have 2 men aboard.
You know, to show you how much things have changed, take a look at Franmil Reyes' line drive, very similar to the one that Jurickson Profar hit. Got a curveball out over the plate, drilled it into left field. To show you how much things have changed, I can go back to the early 80s when I was working in the farm department, and the legendary Paul Richards was a consultant for us. And I used to spend a lot. He came to every game. I would eat dinner with him. He came to the instructional league. He came to spring training. He counseled all of us, all the minor league managers and coaches. He really was one of the most brilliant baseball minds of his era, and he was in baseball his whole life. He's from Waxahachie. He managed. Anyway, back then you would hear coaches and scouts say, you know, I really like this kid, but I just don't know if he can finish a game, meaning a starting pitcher. I just don't know how strong he's going to be in the 9th inning. So they weren't talking about 5 and 6 innings back then. They were evaluating young pitchers by how they might be able to finish a game.
This ball hit high in the air, shallow left field, coming on for 2 into a slide, and he'll make the catch. But runners have to scramble back to their bases, 1 away.
And Paul Richards would say, well, the only reason you're even wondering that is because he's so young and he might be a little bit tired by the end of the game. If you let him start in the 3rd inning and throw 6 innings, then you can find out if he has what it takes, the mental toughness, the fortitude to pitch in the 9th inning and finish a game. So there's another example of Paul maybe being a little bit ahead of his time, because he was talking about using a opener way back then in the early 80s.
Wow.
But he wasn't talking about using one so that they would avoid a guy through the lineup. He was thinking, all right, pitch 2 or 3 innings, then bring that young starter and let him go 6 2/3, throws 120 pitches, and then we'll see what he looks like in the 9th inning. But don't judge a young kid based on throwing 115 pitches and he's in the 9th inning and he's a little tired and he doesn't have a good 9th inning. That's not fair to the kid. But anyway, in 40 years, the mentality and the way pitchers are used has dramatically shifted since back then. I can remember when Craig Wright joined our team as a sabermetrician. Eddie Robinson hired him back in the early 80s. I believe we were the first team that had a full-time sabermetrician. And one of his first assignments was try to determine the best way to use young starting pitchers in the minor leagues as far as pitch counts go. How can we keep from having injuries? And so we've spent a lot of time trying to come up with some kind of a formula that would protect young pitchers' arms. And the numbers, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like you can't throw 110 pitches 2 straight starts. You can never throw over 120 pitches. You know, those are numbers that aren't even thrown in the big leagues nowadays, let alone in the minor leagues. And maybe back then, even with some type of analysis, our pitch counts were a little bit high. But it really shows the difference between the way pitching was looked at back then and how it's looked at back now. And it doesn't mean, and I'm certainly not trying to say one way is right and one way is wrong, but things evolve in baseball and things change. I got a feeling you ask Doug Brocail if he was a young starter how he wanted to be used, he'd say, leave me in and I'll let you know when to take me out.
Time called as Pirela backs away. And part of it is, you know, in today's game, and I think you can go back probably to the 90s, late 90s maybe, when we started seeing teams really work on trying to knock starting pitchers out of the game by deep counts, you know, competitive, I mean, really long battling at bats to try and work the pitch count a little bit and wear a guy down. And that in and of itself was, you know, a little bit new, just being conscious of that as a hitter.
Red Sox and Yankees, that's what you said about them 7 or 8, 9 years ago. That's what they do.
Oakland A's. Similar thing.
And one of the reasons that was a good plan, one of the reasons was because if you go back a number of years.
No bouncer, right side, Odor has it. Quick spin to second one, the relay in time, double play. And the inning is over, 4-6-3. We'll pick up that conversation point when we come back. We go to the third and the Rangers lead 1-0. On top 1-0 as we go to the third inning. And Erlin is still out there doing his job. Yohander Mendez will lead things off. There's another thing, a National League game. Had they gone ahead and stretched Sadzik a second inning, then you could ostensibly pinch hit for Sadzik here and then put Mendez in this spot. That changes the dynamic a little bit when you start talking about the openers. But Mendez, his first career plate appearance. And he's looking for the first Rangers hit of the year for a pitcher. But in a hole 0-2. Erlin comes right after him and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 1 out here in the third inning. Anyway, so last inning we were talking about that, you know, teams trying to wear down starting pitching, and you were explaining because the bullpens were much different than starting.
Yeah, I think nowadays there's, you know, a lot of back then there weren't many bullpens that could bring in a guy in the 6th or 7th inning who was anywhere near as good as the starting pitcher. Obviously, that's not a blanket statement, but for the most part, I think that was true. And nowadays, with the concentration that teams put into their bullpens and the arms that are out in the bullpen, there's a number of starting pitchers who you say don't get his pitch count up there because we'd rather face this guy in the 5th and 6th innings than whoever they're going to bring in from a bullpen. The other thing is, I mentioned this the other day, I saw Mookie Betts make the comment that, you know, working the count is great, but at the same time, you're not going to go up there and be a free swinger, but you might go up there and be aggressive in the strike zone because some of the best pitches you might get to hit and drive and hit the ball out of the ballpark on and do some damage to the pitchers are pitchers that you might be taking to work the pitcher's pitch count up there. And so there might be some pretty good cases where you can do some damage by being a little more aggressive early in the game and not quite as conscious about working the pitch count. Doesn't mean you go up there and you swing at anything the pitcher throws up there. You're still trying to be patient and swing at a strike, but maybe a little bit more aggressive in the strike zone.
Down low, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Delano DeShields.
The Rangers saw it the other day on the day the Angels used the bullpen day. Pretty much every guy they brought in was throwing really well. And there was 8 pitchers used that day.
High pop up, right side heading foul, and Hosmer able to track it down. There are 2 away.
We talked about Hosmer when we did the spotlight right before the game started. He's a terrific defensive player. I think he could have been an outstanding right fielder because he's got a real strong arm. Great hands for a first baseman, accurate arm. He's won Gold Gloves. No problem with that pop-up hit directly over his head.
And now Chu, who struck out in the first inning.
I think in the old days, when the bullpens were maybe a pitcher shorter than they are now, you'd have a good pitcher to close the game out, and maybe a pretty good setup man. And a lot of the other guys in the bullpen were failed starters who, you know, kind of had mediocre stuff, and they have a long man and a couple middle relievers. Much more talent in those roles now than back then.
All right, Chu shoots one right back into Erlin's glove to complete a 1-2-3 third inning. Well, you help yourself defensively as well. 1-0. Thanks, Dana. Yeah, Dodgers fighting for their lives right now as Yohander Mendez goes to work here in the third inning. Look at the wild card division in the National League. Dodgers a game back of St. Louis. Brewers building up enough of a lead in the wild card. They're starting to feel kind of comfortable, although they're still shooting for the division in the Central. Manuel Margot hits this ball well out towards center field, but ranging to his right for it is DeShields, one away.
Let's take a look at the Rangers defense tonight, delivered by DeMontron RV. In the outfield, it's Shin-Soo Choo, Delino DeShields, and Nomar Mazara. In the infield, Adrian's at third base. Jurickson Profar is playing first base. Elvis Enrugi up the middle, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will catch. Is catching.
Pitch in there for a strike to Robbie Erlin. Not a bad hitting pitcher. Erlin 4 for 19 this year at the plate. And hits this one in the air out to right. Easy play from Mazara. 2 gone. We'll turn things over to the top of the order. Hey, by the way, MLB At Bat is your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. You get Rangers home screen icons and things like the MLB.TV game of the day. There's pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and a whole lot of other stuff. Download MLB At Bat today. Well, Mejia walked in the first inning and was doubled off, and he takes a strike. Pardon me. That one called a ball.
Dave, before you got here, we used to do cookie talk.
Yes.
And just got to be a little bit too much, and we were asked to stop doing cookie talk. But I'm going to bring it back. A little blast from the past here on the road. And I'm going to thank. Oh, you're going to have to wait and see who I'm going to thank. I'm not going to do it right now. You're going to have to wait and find out.
Odor takes care of Mejia. And we go to the fourth inning. It's still 1-0. Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. We go to the fourth inning. Yeah, there's some baseball to be played this inning. But first, drum roll, please. A little cookie talk.
Well, cookie talk started out, there'd be maybe 2 or 3 people to thank for the baked goods that they would send up. And I always felt if they took enough time to get that to us in our booth, they deserved to be thanked. But eventually it got to the point where there were over 10 or 12 things a day. And once it got to, we couldn't do it all in one inning and had to go to the next inning, it really just got a little bit too much of a burden. I miss it though. On any given night, we might have we'd have a big table and we would have cakes, pies, kolaches, barbecue dinners, dozens of cookies, things sent from bakeries. It was just amazing. And everybody in the press box, the writers, the technicians, would come up either before the game, during the game, and just sample all the stuff that we had up there. It was so much fun.
We voluntarily stopped this?
Well, we were asked to stop it. People felt that it was taken away from the ball game. It's not like we were talking about the cookies as a ball was being hit out of the ballpark or anything like that. But there were a couple of people that were just vehemently against it. Most people loved it. In fact, even today, a lot of people say, why don't you start talk about cookies anymore? Well, I'm going to tonight. And every time I start to say the name, I must not want me to do it.
Oh, well struck, but Renfro tracks it down. Andrews retired here in the fourth.
Well, the person that actually started it was Shirley Coast. And after a while, we nicknamed her the Cookie Lady. And she comes to every game. Her cookies are named after players because she gives them to the players. Anyway, she's here tonight with her husband, Cal, who's an usher out in right field at our ballpark. And tonight she brought those fudge cookies. They're called Pudge's Fudgies. She has Menches for Kevin Mensch. She has all sorts of different names for all the cookies. But she started it way back when, and she's here tonight. So even though I know you can't hear us, Shirley, you have a lot of friends back in Dalworthington Gardens who will hear our show tonight. And they'll let you know how much we've appreciated all the generosity that you've shown toward us over the years. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, those fudge cookies were good tonight, too,
There's so many people right now going, oh, man, I miss Cookie Talk. I wish they'd do that more often. Other people are going, you idiot. I hated that Cookie Talk. I had a guy at a Rotary Club one day when you do the question and answers at the end of it. Fort Worth Rotary Club, probably about 200 people there. And I could see, the guy slouched in his seat. I could see he was going to ask a tough question, but hey, that's the way it goes. So I said, yes, sir, can I help you? And he said, didn't say Tom or anything like that. He just went, do you think anybody cares what you eat during a baseball game? I said, well, there's some people that do. I can tell by the tone of your voice that you don't. So I suggested to him that when he hears it, get up, go out, get a beverage, come back, we'll be done. You won't miss anything. It's not going to be that big a thing. Show a little patience, but a lot of people were dead set against it. So for all you people, take that.
One out here in the fourth. And again, the fudge cookies were really good.
Yeah, and it's not like she cooked those in her hotel room. She cooked those cookies, brought them in her suitcase, and went out of her way to give them to us. So the least we can do is thank her for it.
Well, Erlin continuing to deal here. 6 strikeouts so far tonight for him. And with the bases empty and 2 out, he will look at Adrian Beltre. Beltre still looking for that hit to tie him with George Brett. It's time now for our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. How about Beltre's interleague ranks? You'd expect this with a guy 21 years in the big leagues. I mean, he leads the world in everything interleague. 362 interleague hits, all the games, extra base hits, doubles, total bases. A chance to add to some of those numbers right here. And he takes low. 3-0.
Just can't get away with anything.
Little roller up the middle. Galvis throws out Beltre.
My wife just texted me. She said the cookie lady lives in Pantego, not Dalworthington Gardens.
To the bottom of the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Myers, Renfroe, and Hosmer due for the Padres. And as Mendez wanted to go, Will Myers was backing out. There we go.
I'm going to end the cookie talk, but I do want to thank your wife, Tish, for the nice little video that she sent, appreciating our cookie talk. Thank you, Tish. That was very nice of you to do that. And apologize to the people in Pantego. It was about 2 weeks ago that I went to Shirley's husband, Cal's 80th birthday party in Pantego. I live in Dalworthington Gardens, so you'd think I would be able to get that city right. Sorry for that.
Points all the same. We appreciate it, Shirley. Now, you told us the other day about eating the German chocolate cake.
That was on the plane. Yeah, that was a cookie talk.
Now, sweets, obviously. I mean, you like the sweets.
I love sweets. I don't eat them. I really have had. I ate a cookie tonight because the meal was so bad that I had to eat something to kind of fill up. It might have been one of those right there, as a matter of fact. But yeah, no, I don't eat sweets. I know that sugar's bad for you, so I don't eat sweets. But I loved them, and I used to eat them a lot.
Down low, full count. So let's just say we used to do this all the time as kids. You're stranded on an island, you know. Yeah, one
one dessert, Tom. One final wish for a dessert. What is your favorite? What's the?
That's almost an impossible question to answer. But I'm going to go back to when I was just a little boy, and my mother made butterscotch brownies.
Oh,
so I would have to defer to her butterscotch brownies, even though I've had a lot of things I'd like just as much. They'd be right up there.
There's ball 4 to Will Myers, and the lead man on here in the
By the way,
fourth
the
inning.
cookie lady makes butterscotch brownies too. Very, very good.
So
How about you?
Chocolate chip cookies. Almost any chocolate chip cookie is always going to win.
If it was something that I got in a bakery, it would be a chocolate eclair with cream in the middle. That would be right up there. In the old days, I promise you, if after saying that, when we got back to Texas and we did the game on Monday, there would be at least a dozen chocolate eclairs there sent from different people. It worked like it was just magic.
Well, Myers, by the way, at first base, he can run a little bit. He's 9 steals this year and 9 tries. So Mendez will keep an eye on him. Yohander Renfroe, Padres' best power hitter, and as you pointed out earlier, the guy may be swinging the bat the best right now among these San Diego Padres. And he takes a strike. It's 1-1.
As they look to become a contender, I think Hunter Renfroe is one of their keepers, one of the guys that they can envision in the middle of their lineup. Will Myers, and obviously Eric Hosmer. They gave Hosmer a huge contract, 6 or 7 years in length for a lot of money. Hosmer, I think, is 28 years old, so they envision him being the backbone of the lineup, backbone of the team in his prime years as they become a contender. The young players start to get here. Renfroe hit 26 home runs last year.
1-2 pitch. Ooh,
kind of looking forward to seeing Fernando Tatis's son.
Yeah.
Evidently, he's their #1 prospect. Fernando Tatis played for the Rangers. He was a great young player, prospect for the Rangers. Got traded to the Cardinals. And in one game, hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's a good week in that 1 inning. Toss over to first. Myers back in there again. They've got a healthy pipeline of really good young talented players on the way here in San Diego. And they knew this year would be another rebuild. Off the end of the bat, foul by Renfroe.
No, the amazing thing about, one of the amazing things about Tatis's 2 grand slams in 1 inning, they came against the same pitcher, Chan-Ho Park. Imagine being in the game long enough to give up 2 grand slams in 1 inning to the same hitter. I mean, that's a long inning. He probably hit one right off the bat in that inning. A couple base runners, bang. Couldn't get anybody out. Comes back around and he capped it off with another one.
So as good a night as that is for Tatis, that's a season crippling inning.
Yeah, for Chan-Ho Park.
That would be awful. 1-2. A swing and a miss. Renfroe strikes out for the first out here of the 4th.
Good fastball right there. 93 miles an hour by Mendez. Up and in. Had some good location. You want to get a guy tied up and swing and a miss. He didn't come close to hitting that pitch. Now Mendez, in his first start back against Minnesota, went 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs. And in 6 innings only threw 79 pitches. He had good stuff at Oakland. Just couldn't locate the strike zone often enough. He only gave up 1 hit, but it was a 2-run homer to Chris Davis. And he had to throw 87 pitches in 4 innings. The stuff was fine. The command wasn't quite as good. I think what the Rangers want to see in September from him is they want to see stuff that can get big league hitters out. And so far, so good. In the 2+ starts that he's had, I think he's starting to show that. Small sample, long way to go, but a good start.
Get to Little help from third base umpire Chris Conroy. Let's see. Yeah, he will. 1 ball, 1 strike on Eric Hosmer. You mentioned the contract for Hosmer, 8 years.
8 years. Wow.
$144 million. They have him signed through the 2025 season. And a bouncer right side of the infield. Odor back to second, 1, and off the hop. Andrus able to turn the double play, 4-6-3. Nicely done. So we go to the 5th inning tonight. Rangers still up 1-0.
Player breakdown. Robbie Erlin, tonight's starter for San Diego, having a nice night so far. He's given up a run, but he's got his strikeout pitches working for him tonight. He struck out 6 in 4 innings with a good mixture of fastballs away to the lefties, a couple of good off-speed pitches to get a right-hand hitter. His strikeout high for the season, he's only had 9 starts, is 7. He had 6 in another start. And right now, through 4 innings, he has 6 against the Rangers. No walks, 6 strikeouts.
Well, he has retired 7 in a row. And we'll look at Odor to start this 5th inning. Rugies struck out in the 2nd, 0 for 1. Lefty on the lefty. And a fastball just up and away for ball 1. Well, the Rangers with 3 hits so far. Padres with just 1.
That pitch has been tough to the left-hand hitters. A little cut fastball on the outside corner.
And 1-1 on the way. And this one in the air. Out to left field, headed toward the line. That's a tough one, and no one can get to it. And Odor with a bloop single into left field. Boy, Renfroe was shaded way over towards center field. That's just too far for Freddie Galvis to get out to it, and so Odor has a hit.
Galvis is sprinting as fast as he can. He couldn't get to it. Renfroe was a little too deep to get to it. If Renfroe had Delino's speed, he might have been able to get to it, but no, I don't think he could. The ball was right near the left field line. That's just one that was hit no man's land. Not much they could have done about that.
No, you know, you position for some tendencies, and that one went against the positioning. And now Profar takes a high strike. Jurickson drove in the only run of the game so far. That was a base hit in the 2nd. Merlin's 1 strike offering. Bouncer through the left side. That's a base hit. Odor stops at second base. Profar 2 for 2.
Well, Rangers finding some holes here to start the 5th inning. A blooper to left. And then Erlin got the cut fastball in nicely. Fastball right in on the fists. Jurickson hit off the handle, but ground ball was able to find a hole and roll into left field. Isaiah hit a bullet to end the 2nd inning. A line shot at Freddie Galvis at shortstop. Hit that ball with Jurickson at second base.
Now Kiner Falefa. Isaiah 0 for 1. His line out went to shortstop in the 2nd inning. It's the other thing, the Rangers have lined out twice on the infield. Some rockets off Erlin that have found the gloves. When you look at the batting averages against left-handed pitchers this year, and Kiner Falefa 5th in Major League Baseball with that average at .406. Franmil Reyes in the lineup tonight for the Padres, a shade better. But this has been a good setup for the right-handed hitting Kiner Falefa. We'll take low, 1-1. You mentioned it earlier. Erlin not likely to walk you. I mean, he is very stingy with the free passes, so he's in the zone a lot. And he's given up 11 home runs this year in 93 innings coming into play. And sometimes that can be a byproduct of being in the zone a lot, as you'll give up some home runs. Bouncer third base. That one grabbed by Myers to the bag one. The throw into the seats off the netting. Around third base, Profar. He's headed to the plate, and he's in there. Kind of full up for the third, and they'll get him there. An unusual double play, but the Rangers score a run.
There are some throws being made on that. Myers, who hasn't played a lot of third base, made a terrific pickup. Got the force out at third, and then launched his throw about 20 feet over Hosmer's head. Nice play until that point. Hosmer doesn't even try to jump for it. It caroms off the screen. In the old days, before the screen, that ball would have gone 15 rows up in the seats. Instead, it comes off the screen. Hosmer gets it and shows his arm strength off to the plate. But Profar beat the throw to the plate, and then Mejia threw a bullet to third base to get Kiner for nothing. That was a fun play to watch.
That's a fielder's choice and an error. No RBI. Ground ball third base, and the throw to first in time for the final out of the inning. Oh, it's like arena baseball. It's off the netting. You don't know what's in play and what's not. Wakamatsu asked it upstairs and not going to challenge that play at first base. Inning done. Rangers lead 2-0.
This ball brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's take a look at the Rangers double plays. Connor Sadzik induced one in the first inning, 5-4-3. Second inning, another one. Rugi to Elvis and back to Jurickson. And then in the fourth inning, a beautiful play by Elvis. Rugi goes far to his left. The throw is low. Elvis picks it, throws back to Profar. And the Rangers have turned 3 double plays in 4 innings. That's why they lead 1-0.
So now bottom of the 5th inning.
Or should I say 2-0. They led 1-0 after 4 innings, but then they scored another one in the 5th.
On one of the craziest double plays you'll see in a while.
There are some throws being launched on that play.
So Yohander Mendez. He will face Fanmil Reyes. We'll start things off here in the 5th. Reyes fouls the first pitch back. He is our TXU Energy power player to watch, and he hits home runs with some frequency once every 13.5 at bats. Reyes with 15 home runs this year, 24 RBIs. Boy, he is a big, strong dude, too. 0-2 the count.
Well, the high fastball has been effective several times in this game for Yohander.
Mendez to the plate, 0-2. This one high in the air. Out to medium deep right field. Mazzara will take care of it. And there is one away. And so here comes Freddie Galvis, who has started every game this season at shortstop for the Padres. Every game. Now there's talk that he may not start tomorrow. They may instead give a start to a rookie. So we'll wait and see on that. But
I saw in their notes, no one in the National League in Major Leagues has played more games or more innings than Galvis.
He has been a steady regular for them, the switch hitting shortstop, and that one inside, 1-1. How about this one? Prior to this inning, Yohander Mendez had thrown a first pitch strike to only one hitter. The pitcher, Robbie Erlin. Count 1-2 on Galvis, but he had come back on the next pitch of every other at bat and gotten a strike to even the count. Kind of weird to have a little success falling behind everybody 1-0.
He looks really focused tonight. He's not wasting any time. He's getting the ball, bearing down on the sign, not taking extra time. going right after him.
There you go. Perfect example. He strikes out Galvis for the second out in the inning. Okay, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Boy, every game right now for the Cubs, huge. As they are getting chased by the Milwaukee Brewers, and Milwaukee in hot pursuit.
He's in hot pursuit, Junior.
Oh, a little Smokey and the Bandit accidentally came out this inning. A little tapper back to Mendez, but he can't handle it, and Perella is aboard.
You know, Isaiah hasn't caught a lot. I think as time goes on, he'll probably go after that ball because I think he had the best chance to make the play. This ball is not going to roll. It's going to come down spinning. A little farther than I thought. I guess that's one kind of out in no man's land. I think if the pitcher wasn't there, that Isaiah could have pounced on it as a middle infielder, which he's played before, and made the play. And I think if the catcher wasn't there, maybe Mendez could have made the play himself, but they both got kind of caught in between on it.
Strike to Margot. 0-1 the count. One and one to count. Margot flied out to center field in the third inning. He's 0 for 1. And he's had a bit of a career year. 26 doubles this year, career best. Also had a career high in RBIs, 44 of those, and he lays off a very close pitch. Two and one. Yohander Mendez has walked 2, allowed 2 hits. Generally been in complete command here. He came in after the start by Connor Sadzik. Sadzik with the 1-inning pitch got a double play after a leadoff walk. 2-2. And that one's too tall. Margot swings and misses a breaking ball, and he strikes out. Mendez with a couple of punch outs in the 5th. We're through 5 innings tonight here in San Diego. Rangers lead it 2-0. GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer today. Well, beautiful night here in San Diego for the Gaslamp District. Yohander Mendez has been pretty sharp so far tonight. Rangers have the 2-0 lead, and we head to the 6th. Top of the order coming up here to Shields, Chu, and Andrews. Delano 1 for 2. Had a base hit in the first inning, was caught stealing, and then popped up his last time up. Now to Shields at 2:06 up to the minute. The average up a point tonight. And it has been almost a manic season for Delano. The injuries to the hands. Seemed like every time he gets something going, he'd take another pitch off the hand or bunt one off of his finger. Just incredibly poor luck this year for Delano. As a result, he's had some pretty cold stretches as well. Just never really able to
get it going.
No, I know he's worked and he's overcome the injuries. He's done the rehab. I think all you can do for Delino is just kind of give him a mulligan on the season. He's better than that. We've seen him better than that. Everybody knows he's better than that. That's why I say I'd love to see him the last 18 or 19 games just finish strong, put up some big numbers, steal some bases, make him feel better going into the offseason. There you go.
Yeah, base hit into left field, his second one of the night. And with his speed, that'll be extra bases. Renfroe up with it quickly, but no chance to get to Shields. Delino with a leadoff double. His 14th of the year.
Yeah, a couple of line drives tonight. Line drive base hit to center field. Nice play by Renfroe. Renfroe had to go a long way, slide, come up and throw. He made Delano slide anyway. I didn't think he'd be able to do that on that ball. So nice play out there on a Renfroe.
So Chu, 0 for 2. He struck out in the first inning. The line out was right back to the mound and right into the glove. Erlin didn't have much time to react even. Total self-defense as Chu swings at the first pitch. So this was the last out of the third inning. Whoop.
Boy, he caught that thing with Chu. Can't believe it. What do I have to do to get a base hit to center field?
Can't hit it much better than that, that's for certain. Well, now Chu annoyed by the weight. And Mejia will trot out to the mound. So I think this is a case here where Erlin wanted Mejia to give him some different signs and just could not seem to convey that to him. A lot of times you see these visits here, they're initiated by the catcher. That one definitely was Erlin's call. One strike pitch inside. Delino in scoring position. Yeah, there's a bouncer right side of the infield. Hosmer has it, goes to third, and they do get Delino. Wow.
Boy, he sure didn't look out from here. But that's kind of what we were talking about. Hosmer's got a really good arm for a first baseman. Watch how playing in. Watch how quickly he gets rid of this ball. He's right-handed. You think he was a middle infielder. Boy.
So Conroy makes that call, right? We've talked a lot about this. These umpires, they do a fantastic job. But I think Jeff Bannister is going to want to replay this. And he made the call with some confidence. It may or may not be right. It was close. We can say that much. As quickly as that happened, and I've already seen it a couple times now, I'm stunned that you could even make a call on that. That's one of those where if I was an umpire, my hands would be up in the air. I have no idea.
You wouldn't be an umpire for very long.
I'd have a little too fast.
You got to
for me.
sell it. You got to believe it. And that's the way they're taught. But yeah, no, I agree. I could not be an umpire.
Well, our Ford replay challenge. Rangers, I think, feel strongly enough about this one. And you said it too. You said, boy, it really didn't look out to me. Let's see here.
It's a lot closer than I thought it was.
Yes, yeah.
He touched the knee, his left knee. Ooh, it's tough to tell when he touched him.
That is so close, and the problem with that.
I just go back to the position that Chris Conroy's in. He is in perfect position to make that call, and I would have thought he was safe by a mile. And as it is, we've watched it several times, and I'd still throw up my hands.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of time he had to get in position is so minimal. But in any case, the unfortunate thing here from the Rangers' perspective was the call on the field was out. Because I don't know that I saw anything that could have overturned it either way. If it was called safe, I don't think there was enough there to say he was out. Called out, I don't know if there's enough there to say that he was safe.
I didn't think Hosmer, when he fielded the ball, knowing Delano's running, I didn't think he would throw it to third base. But he was playing in. He's got so much confidence in his arm, he gave it a shot.
And call will stand. You see Banny not happy with it. I think part of the problem there was that the angles weren't real definitive.
Yeah.
Well, and that will do it for Erlin. So he is done with 1 out here with the 6th inning. Rangers leading by 2. We'll see the bullpen from here. 6th inning. And the Padres have gone into their bullpen. Rowan Wick, the right-hander, coming out here for his 6th appearance.
He's only pitched 4 2/3 innings, gave up some runs. Had a nice minor league season, 26 saves at AA and AAA. Nice solid ERA. Getting his feet wet in September, finding out what it's like to try to get big league hitters out. Trying to work his way up to a permanent role in the bullpen.
There's good competition in this bullpen, and the first pitch comes inside on Elvis. Just able to make contact and fight that one off. Our Kubota power stats. One of the reasons it's tough to get into this bullpen. Look at the bullpen ERAs in the National League. Only the Cubs with a better group earned run average than these Padres, who are at 352 for the year. Now, they traded a couple of good ones right before the trade deadline, actually a couple of weeks before the trade deadline this year. First 70 games of the year, their bullpen ERA was more than a half point better than it has been since. As Andrews pops this one up. Foul territory, third base side, but that one will be out of reach. But even with the trades, the loss of guys like Brad Hand out of that bullpen, as a general rule, they have done a nice job. And so Rowan Wick and company will have it from here. They got 5 1/3 tonight from Robbie Erlin. Oh, 2 to Andrews. Runner goes. A swing and a miss. A throw down to second base. And Chu has it stolen. The hit and run was on. And Andrews just couldn't quite make contact. Well, it looked like the hit and run. I don't know. If not, then he was swinging at a wild pitch. But in any case, 2 away.
Yeah, we've seen Mejia make some strong throws. Here's another one. Boy, that was a rope he threw to second base, too. Not a great pitch to catch and throw on. There were 2 strikes. It probably wasn't a hit and run, but I agree. He swung at a pitch. I think he made it look like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a confusing one. That's a confusing one. We'll have to talk to Banny and Elvis after the ball game and find out what happened there. That is not the type of pitch you normally see Elvis chase. 2 strikes or not. Hard ground ball down to first. Hosmer with a gold glove down there takes care of it, and Wick gets to the bag in time. Inning is done. Rangers leave a man in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-0. 2-0 lead tonight as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Another quiet Friday night around town here. Robbie Erlin was lifted last inning, and now a pinch hitter here, A.J. Ellis, will lead things off. Yohander Mendez a little bit high. It's 1-1.
I'll say this for Yohander Mendez. He does not look tonight like a kid who went 2-10 in the minor leagues. He improved when he got sent back to the minor leagues for the second time. He went 2-4. His ERA was pretty good, 4.31. But he's got a little bit of a different look, at least to me he does. He's not wasting any time. He's focused on the catcher's sign, and he's going right after the hitters. He's only had a couple of starts since he's been back. One solid one that was okay. Had a little bit of a command issue. I think tonight he's throwing the ball as well as he did in either one of those starts, so that's nice to see. And you can't forget, he's only 23 years old, and it was only a little while ago that he was so highly regarded as one of the Rangers' top 5 prospects, maybe higher than that for a while. So he didn't all of a sudden forget how to be a prospect. Well, maybe he did forget how to be a prospect. Maybe he had to be reminded when he was sent back to the minor leagues. He went all the way back down to A-ball, and he appreciated the program, bought into it, worked hard at it. So we're seeing the results of it right now in the big leagues because he looks nice tonight.
Well, a strikeout of Ellis to start the 6th inning.
I think of Yohander, and mostly has been throwing sinkers and changeups. Everything's down tonight. He's elevated his fastball on a number of occasions, belt high and up, and gotten swings and misses at it pretty frequently.
1 out, and now Mejia. And there's a fastball out of the outside corner. So since coming back from that odyssey through the minor leagues, Mendez has allowed 5 hits and 2 runs in 14 1/3 innings. And there's another base hit right there, though, as Mejia sneaks one through. Now we're calling it Fandemonium. Rangers fans can get $1 tickets, $1 parking, and $1 hot dogs for the 105 day game on Wednesday, courtesy of 105.3 The Fan. It's the Rays and Rangers' last dollar hot dog day of the season. Use the online coupon code 1 at texasrangers.com/specials and be a part of Fandemonium. A man on now for Will Myers, and he'll take a strike. Mendez, talking about working with conviction. Boy, he gets it and he's ready to go. So the 1-1 pitch. Myers swings and misses, strike 2. Well, it could be such a huge lift for this franchise if Yohander Mendez can pan out. As you mentioned, just 23 years old. Myers pops this one up on the infield, right side. Profar. It's for out number 2. All right, that gives us a moment now to check in with our friends over at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value, backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
You know, with young pitchers, especially pitchers, but even position players, especially young pitchers, they get to the big leagues quickly, and I think Yohander got to the big leagues when he was 21. And you hear so much about him. They're highly touted, top prospect. You just anticipate that it's going to be clear sailing right from the start. And when they don't have success right off the bat, you tend to think of them less highly. I'm guilty of that. I know fans are guilty of that if I'm guilty of that. And you just have to keep reminding yourself. He's young, and it just doesn't happen overnight. They have sometimes, and not necessarily him, but other pitchers too. They might have maturity problems. They might have command issues. They might be developing another pitch. They might be overwhelmed by the pressure. Who knows? Big crowds. So much goes into it that it just doesn't automatically happen when they're 21, that they come up, look great, go to spring training, win a job, go 14-8 the next year with 180 innings pitched and a 3.8 ERA. It just doesn't happen that way all the time. And so you have to keep reminding yourself, be patient until you know all the results are in before you make your opinions. And we're all guilty of that.
3-1 on Renfroe.
You know, you would think after 50 years of saying the same thing that I would grow to get above that, but you know, just so many times you sit up here and watch, and you become a fan, and you have your expectations just like they do, and it's just not realistic to expect that and anticipate it with all the players.
Walks Renfroe here, and so 2 men aboard in the 6th inning. So now Eric Hosmer, and this will be Hosmer's 3rd look at Yohander Mendez now. So with the opener tonight being Connor Sadzik, and he faced 3 batters in the 1st inning. Mendez came on to start the 2nd, and he began his night with Hosmer. So now he has gone around the order twice. And this is where we'll wait and see how far the Rangers will let him go a 3rd time through. First pitch to Hosmer. Misses for a ball. Yep, and here comes Doug Brocale. Remember earlier I was telling you how, like, in the first 10 hitters of the game, Mendez had thrown a ball 1 to all of them but the starting pitcher Robbie Erlin in his at bat. But then it'd come back with a strike on the very next pitch in all those at bats. Well, since that point, he's thrown a first pitch strike to 6 of the last 8 hitters. Done a good job of getting ahead, except right here to Hosmer. He starts him 1-0. So Brocale out there, yep, you can imagine it. Our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. C.D. Pelham loosening up. All right, the 1-0. And that one fouled back by Hosmer, so he comes right back and gets a strike. Hosmer 0 for 1, a walk, his first time up, rolled into a double play in the 4th. We were talking earlier about the big contract he signed with the Padres, largest in franchise history. So they have very high hopes for him. 1-1. Fouled away.
2 good fastballs challenged him with him. Inside part of the plate, a little bit above the belt. He gets ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Four strikeouts tonight for Yohander. There's 1-2 pitch, and that's out of the dirt.
If you watch Yohander and you try to anticipate what are some of the things that he can improve on and will improve on, one of them might be his breaking ball to put away a left-hand hitter. He's had a good fastball today. Good success with his fastball.
Two pitch, and Hosmer stays alive.
And there was a breaking ball, but he got away with it. He hung it. Hosmer ripped at it and missed it. Each one as a pitcher, I'm sure Yohander said to himself, "Whoops," and said, "Whew, got away with that one." Just another example of every mistake a pitcher makes doesn't necessarily get hit.
Here it comes again, and Hosmer lifts this one down the left field line. Long run for Beltre, but he can't quite get to it. Ooh, watch out.
Yeah, there's so many games that when we talk about the game when it's all over, and let's say a pitcher's given up a couple of home runs, we might say, well, they only made 2 mistakes today, and they ended up in home runs. Well, those were 2 mistakes that ended up in home runs, but there was probably 8 or 9 mistakes that were fouled off or taken. If a pitcher can pitch a game and only give up 1 or 2 mistakes, then he's pitched one remarkable game. And hitters, as good as they are, they're not perfect. They're not going to hit every mistake that's made.
Mejia and Renfroe with their leads, and that one is outside, full count. Pretty big spot in this one. A 2-0 lead. Mendez getting to the end of his night. A 3-2 to Hosmer, and a swing and a miss. He got him. Fifth strikeout of the night.
He threw him a changeup. It looked like good pitch. Tried everything else. The breaking ball didn't work, so he went to the changeup.
Pulled the string. Hosmer goes down swinging. We go to the 7th.
Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer today.
Now we go to the 7th inning tonight here in San Diego. Rangers lead by 2. Our progressive upcoming schedule. 2 games left in this series. A little earlier start tomorrow, and then a day game on Sunday. Final homestand of the year starts Monday night back home at Globe Life Park, and then the Rangers wrap up the season on the road on the West Coast. Certainly happy to have you along with us tonight, though. Phil Maton comes on here in the 7th inning for the Padres.
Yeah, for Maton, this will be his 42nd game. Another bullpen guy with more strikeouts than innings pitched. Padre bullpen has been a force this year. It's not quite what it was earlier in the season. Brad Hand, their closer, was traded to Cleveland. That's how they got Francisco Mejia, their really good young prospect who's catching for them in tonight's game. When you're trying to rebuild and you have some veteran players that probably won't fit into your plans long range.
Oh, there's a hard hit ball into left field for Adrian Beltre. He'll turn first, head for second. Renfroe's throw, not in time, and Beltre with a double. And a historic hit for Adrian as he ties George Brett on the all-time hit list.
A hanging slider. And I know everybody holds their breath when Adrian has to sprint and slide, but he beat that throw. It's the second time that Hunter Renfroe has done a nice job of getting to a ball and making a strong throw, and just coming up a little bit short.
Well, there he is now. Beltre and Brett tied for 15th all time, and now just 30 hits shy of Cal Ripken Jr. Some incredible names on the list. Matt Lajoie, Eddie Murray. Adrian Beltre continuing to do it. And that also puts it into a long hitless streak for Beltre, who moves up now on that mishap there. Probably a pass ball. Looked like it went right off the glove of Mejia. Well, Beltre now at third base. Indeed, it was a pass ball.
StatCast AI, powered by AWS, shows us that that ball went off the bat at almost a little over 109 miles per hour. That was a rope by Adrian. Looked like Adrian started out like maybe he thought it was going to be a single, or not a single, but an easy double, and then saw the way that Renfroe played it off the wall and said, no, this is not going to be a stand-up double. I'm going to have to turn it on and slide. So between first and second, he upped his speed a little bit and slid in safely.
Dort does fight that one off foul. 3-1 the count. I'm thinking he might get something to drive there. Full count. I think Ruby feeling like he missed an opportunity right there. He was geared up for it. Just missed it. Rangers got a run in the second, a run in the fifth. 2 runs on 7 hits tonight. Odor strikes out swinging. So once ahead 3-0 in the count. What ends up a strikeout victim for Maton.
Yeah, Maton gets in with a high fastball. And Ruby struck out first time up in the second inning. Robbie Erlin threw him a high fastball on the outside corner.
Profar swinging, sends this one high in the air, soaring out to right field and gone. A 2-run home run for Jurickson Profar, number 17 on the year, and he has doubled the Rangers' lead.
Well, Jurickson has put some good swings on the pitchers tonight. Right-handed first time up, he had a line shot to left field to drive in a run. First pitch swinging here, he gets a pitch on the inside part of the plate, down and in, barely a strike. And man, he was ready for that one. Quick bat, launched that ball. That ball in the same spot he hit his first major league home run and his first major league at bat in Cleveland.
Well, he's having a pretty good night, 3 for 3. He's driven in 3 of the Rangers' 4 runs. And the base is empty now for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
It's 17 home runs now and 73 RBIs. A good couple weeks to end the season. He can hit 20 home runs, knock in 80 runs, maybe hit 260. Been struggling a little bit with the bat. He was 4 for 30 coming into this game. 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a home run in this game. Been a good year for Jurickson. He's played a lot of different positions. I think the best thing that happened to him, one of the good things anyway, was getting a chance to play shortstop for 2 solid months. And kind of rekindling what it felt like to be a regular shortstop, which he was before he got to the big leagues. And he's been steady all season long, playing a lot of different positions, but a lot of good at bats. He's hit a lot of balls hard that have been caught too. When you see a guy's hitting 255, he's hitting a solid 255 too.
Well, people have asked a lot recently who would be the Rangers MVP for the year. And I'm not saying it is Jurickson Profar. I'm not saying it isn't. I mean, he's had a really nice season. The versatility that he has shown. And you mentioned a great opportunity for him to play 2 solid months at shortstop. Well, I mean, critical 2 months for the Rangers that he stepped in and played that position well, too.
Mm-hmm. He's got 32 doubles, 6 triples. The other thing, we talk a lot about, it's not an official stat, but it means something to me. Walks compared to strikeouts. Well, he hasn't walked as many times as he struck out, but in today's game, when you've been up over 470 times and you've walked 50 times and struck out 73 times, that's very solid by today's standards. He makes good contact from both sides of the plate, takes his walks, and this can just be a springboard for what he's capable of doing.
Calhoun with a little rollout to complete the 7th inning. But the highlight once again, Jurickson Profar with a bomb to right field. It's 4-0.
It's Yohander Mendez. Had good stuff tonight. He was helped by some double plays, but he made good pitches to get the double plays. In the ball game, he had 5 strikeouts and a good fastball up today. Generally, he keeps the ball down, which is great, but occasionally elevating it like that works well too. Best pitch he made all night was his last pitch. Tough battle against Eric Hosmer. Hosmer fouled off a couple of fastballs, missed a hanging slider, and then Yohander went to the changeup and got a strikeout to end his outing. That's his 3rd outing. He had one that was 6 innings, 3 hits and no runs, but for me, that's his best outing so far. That's one you can see the smile on his face. I think he felt good tonight. He was focused, he concentrated, used all his pitches, worked quickly. Results were good. You know, when he goes back to the hotel tonight, he can sit down, watch a little TV, and feel pretty good about that start.
Well, 4-0 lead. So Sadzik did his job as the opener. Mendez did his job as a primary pitcher. Now Jeffrey Springs, and this one's fouled away, 1-1. And Springs has done a really nice job this year when given the opportunity. He has been an opener on a couple of occasions. Represents an intriguing arm for the Rangers. 1-1, up and away. Springs this inning. It's Franmil Reyes and then Freddie Galvis and Jose Pirela.
You know, I've seen it speculated in the media, not necessarily speculated, but maybe the media wondering whether or not he would figure into the plans next year as a starter. I don't have any idea if he is or not. He's done a nice job out of the bullpen as it is, but he has the kind of repertoire with that changeup that would give him the kind of pitches that you would need as a starter. The combination of 92-mile-an-hour fastball and that good changeup he's got would work well as a starter. Just a matter of how the Rangers view him and what roles are available. But it's not a question that I think is doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I think there's something there. A good strikeout guy. It's a ground out here. Now Freddie Galvis.
I know he has been a starter and wasn't having a great amount of success in that role. Switched to the bullpen and has had a lot of success in that role. And so the feeling could be that they like him in the role he's adapted to and he's doing well at it, and they want to keep him there, and that's fine too. But the type of pitches he had would transition as a starter.
Finds a strike zone. The count 0-2 on Freddie Galvis. A little more on that. Let's check in with John Radigan.
Baseball in a vacuum, guys, and Hurricane Florence is bearing down on the Carolinas. A couple of players, including Jeffrey Springs, who are from the Carolinas. He's from Belmont, North Carolina, and while the storm has not hit there yet, he of course is having constant contact with his family members who are still in the path of the hurricane. And C.D. Pelham, another young guy in the bullpen, is from South Carolina. He too waiting, as his family's in Lancaster, South Carolina, waiting to find out if the thing is going to give them a direct hit or where it's going to be. We of course all remember the tragic effects of Hurricane Harvey about a year ago. I spoke to Doug Brocail about that earlier today too. We just think and worry about these guys as they do about their families, guys.
Yeah, it's frightening times for people currently out on the East Coast, down there on the Carolina and on the seaboard there. But
it just seems like every week there's a weather crisis.
Yeah.
Whether it's a fire, a drought, a flood, a hurricane, a tornado.
The volcanoes earlier this year, right? Down in Hawaii.
It's just unbelievable. Can't tell me something's not going on.
Ball, one strike on Pirela. And a little comebacker. Knocked out by Springs. Great job to stay under control and take care of Pirela and turn in a 1-2-3 7th inning. We'd go to the 8th, 4-0. Because Houston with that loss, Arizona with a win today, as you point out, and yeah, there's some races tightening up a little bit. The Dodgers, they won earlier today 3-0. The Rockies, I think, lost. So you've got a situation where out on the West, or the National League West anyway, things are really tightening up. Rockies are in the 8th inning, losing 2-0. So it could be a half-game lead for the Rockies. Anyway, here we go to the 8th inning. And DeShields takes upstairs
Ball one from a guy making his big league debut, Brad Wick. One off the plate, 2-0. Wick called up Tuesday for the first time in his career, and this is his major league debut. Split the season between AAA El Paso and AA San Antonio for the Padres. And put up good numbers. And the Shields hammers this ball high in the air out to center field, but it's going to hang up a little bit. One away. Well, let's take a quick moment here and check in again with the folks over at Southwest Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
So a deep fly ball out. Wick officially in the record books, and here comes Shin-Soo Choo. Wick was 4-2 with a 2.53 ERA in 44 relief appearances. He had 70 strikeouts against 17 walks, so some pretty good numbers there. We mentioned earlier the Padres feel like they are stacking up quite a few potentially very good young arms. 1-1 to count to Choo. Choo hitless so far tonight. And ahead 2-1. Well, you know, the heart's beating a little harder for this young man. In these moments, we've seen a handful of these this year for the Rangers, and obviously some for some of these other ball clubs. You see them a lot in September. Got to get that first one out of the way. There's a roller to shortstop, and Choo grounds out for the second out of the inning. Well, the Seven Kingdoms can all agree on at least one thing, and that is that Globe Life Park is a perfect venue to enjoy a baseball game. Don't miss the second annual Game of Thrones theme nights, Monday through Wednesday. Purchase your tickets through this theme night offer and receive a limited edition Odor bobblehead. You'll also be able to take a picture in the Iron Throne. Get your theme night tickets exclusively at TexasRangers.com/theme night.
Quite a phenomenon, that Game of Thrones.
Man alive. Yeah, it's big. But they're not. How long till the next season comes out?
Next year.
Oh, next year still.
Yeah, that'll be a much anticipated debut of that final season.
I was going to say
it's the final season.
I believe it is, right? That they've already said that. There's a strike count 0-2 on Andrews. So Wick, he's a big kid, 6'9", 255 pounds. 26-year-old left-hander, born in Amarillo, still lives there. Way upstairs, and Fielding Colbert says it. Andrews didn't go around. Elvis went after a pitch for strike 3 in the 6th inning. It locked me up anyway. It was a 2-strike swing on his part that looked like he was just trying to make contact with it, like it was a hit and run, which it most likely was not. There's a fly ball out to center field. Saw Brad Wick, a perfect 8th inning in his big league debut. We go to the last of the 8th inning, 4-0.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA.
Well, a view from the harbor here, from the bay. Looking back at San Diego. We're right there in the middle of all that mess. All that light and excitement. Inside this beautiful ballpark here, Petco Park, where Jeffrey Springs comes out for an 8th inning. Manuel Margot, the first man he'll face. And it's 1-1.
A good changeup that Jeffrey features. A nice inning, 7th inning, quick inning. 11 pitches.
Now it's 1-1 to Margot, and that's fouled back. And Springs, the 3rd pitcher being used today. 5 shutout innings from Yohander Mendez. Connor Sadzik, a shutout inning earlier. Rangers took 2 of 3 from the Padres earlier this year back in Arlington. And this one is lined right past Profar into right field. A base hit for Margot. Well, take your Rangers fandom to the next level and own a piece of the game. Go to TexasRangers.com/authentics and see how you can get everything from game-used baseballs to bases and autographed memorabilia. Check out what's waiting for you at TexasRangers.com/authentics. Man on here to start the 8th inning, and Travis Jankowski steps in here and takes a strike. Springs with a little hold, and now the pitch. That's outside. Ball, 1 strike. Jankowski having one of those years where he's making better contact this year maybe than any year previous. Some improvements for him offensively. And the role here is a pinch hitter, a little more difficult than your typical at bats, but they have used him a lot in these spots. He is 3 for 15 as a pinch hitter. And he pops this one up. Deep short, if you will. And Andrews tucks it away. 1 out. So back to the top of the order. Rangers leading 4-0. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Francisco Mejia 1 for 2 with a walk. Padres have won 59 games this year. They have lost 88 and eliminated from any postseason consideration. And they're likely to finish last in the division, although the Giants the Giants are streaking. They've lost 11 in a row coming into play tonight. Even still, it seems far-fetched that the Padres could catch San Francisco. Andy Green now in his 3rd year as the manager here. He's done a nice job, though, with these young kids. Quick flip to second base by Andrews, and the turn in time for the double play. And the inning is done. Springs with 2 scoreless tonight. We go to the 9th inning. Nomar Mazar will lead it off for the Rangers. Then Adrian Beltre and Rougned Odor. It's a 4-0 game. Trevor Hoffman, 601 saves. That will get you a statue here in San Diego, for that matter, just about anywhere. 4-0 Rangers lead as we go to the 9th. Only one remaining Saturday night game left in the season, and you're going to want to be out at Globe Life Park on September 22nd. Rangers Mariners 7:05 game. You can get your tickets for the last Saturday night game of the season at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right, Colton Brewer will be the new chucker for the Padres here.
Another one of the Padres call-ups. This will only be his 6th game. Only pitched 3 2/3 innings.
So Brewer follows Brad Wick, and congratulations to Brad Wick, a perfect 8th inning in relief for his major league debut. Robbie Erlin had the start for San Diego, went 5 1/3. Rangers got 2 runs off of him on 6 hits. They would score 2 more on Phil Maton a little bit later in the game and have a 4-0 lead. Heart of the order here: Mazzara, Beltre, and Odor. Nomar has a base hit and a run.
Yeah, Brewer's been up and down 4 times with the Padres this year. His pitch is a cutter. He just threw it right there. He throws that over almost 70% of the time. So that is his fastball, a cut fastball. That's not the cutter. That's a breaking ball. Throws that 25% of the time. Curveball.
Check out the Lone Star symbol on the glove for Brewer. Very nicely done. 2-2. That's pretty cool. You see guys get the names on the glove all the time. I don't know that I've noticed guys able to get logos or flags, but that is awesome right there.
Very nice.
The breaking ball, and it's rolled weakly to second base, and Mazzara rolls out for the first out of the inning.
The Astros have a relief pitcher, Will Harris, and he features the same repertoire of pitches. He throws a cutter most of the time and also a curveball. And he's had some pretty good success with that combination in the Astros bullpen.
Brewer, that's a pretty impressive ground out. Now we'll face Adrian Beltre. Born in Dallas, now lives in Canton, Texas. And his first pitch, it's on the inside corner for a strike. That one had some pretty nasty movement too. 0-2 the count. Brewer still pretty new to the big leagues, and this one ripped over third. That well struck by Adrian Beltre, and he'll go for 2. This time it'll be a stand-up double for Beltre, his second of the night. Moves him past George Brett now. Well, we have a moment now. Let's hear from our friends over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
So there you see it. Beltre now 15th all-time by himself. And the great Hall of Fame third baseman George Brett in the rearview mirror. Next stop, Ripken. All right, here is Odor. Rangers would love to add a run to the lead. Odor 1 for 3, and he fouls that one back.
CB Buckner doing the same thing you saw him doing earlier, fixing that little divot out in front of him.
Weird. That attention to detail, though.
Yeah. It's his area, and he's policing it.
A little high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Odor. And the Rangers with the 4-run lead. They're hoping to add one here, at least one. Good RBI spot for Odor.
takes a breaking ball for a strike. Rugi sitting on 63 RBIs. Brewers 1-2 and a swing and a miss. So he strikes out Odor, 2 away. Well, thanks to T-Mobile, fans can receive a 20% discount on Fridays for the all-you-can-eat seats in the home run porch. Get your tickets and the all-you-can-eat seats for the September 21st game. It's the last Friday home game of the season, Mariners and Rangers. Use the coupon code T-Mobile at TexasRangers.com/specials. Big swing and a miss by Profar, and Brewer has some pretty nasty stuff he's featuring here tonight. Big Texan, 6'4", 230 pounds. He's just 25 years old. Hard ground ball, second base, and Pirela is right there. That will do it in the ninth. Rangers up 4-0. Adrian Beltre with a couple of doubles, the all-time hits leader, trying to lead the Rangers to a win. All-time hits leader, as I may have said in haste at the end of the inning, the active hits leader, 3,155 hits, most of any foreign-born player in Major League history. 15th all-time by himself now on the all-time list. We started the broadcast talking about his 5 Gold Gloves, a surefire Hall of Famer. And it's just great, you know, he's had the injuries this year. He's had to nurse the hamstring a little bit, but lately, not only has been playing every day defensively and offensively, but has been playing well and swinging the bat with some power, which is so encouraging. Well, defensive change for the Rangers as Ronald Guzman takes over at first base. And Jose Leclerc, not a saved spot, but in here in the 9th inning, working on a 16-inning scoreless streak.
Yeah, he's been amazing how well he's been throwing the ball. He's just grown into this role. Last year, command was a little bit of an issue. He corrected it himself, came to spring training, and didn't have to worry about him. His confidence was there, knew what he could do, and he's backed it up all season long. Once he got the closer, he's pitching great before he got the closer's role, and he's continued it after it. Not many teams with a better young up-and-coming closer than Jose Leclerc, that's for sure.
1-1. That fastball, it's a free and easy 96 that he throws up there. Well, Leclerc, you know, a lot of closers, you know, you think so much about the velocity being 100, 99, maybe over 100, and it's really nice. Well, he gets right close to that, but then his off-speed stuff is such the difference maker. That cut changeup misses, 2-2. I think a lot of times we're just going back to when he came up and we got a chance to see him with some regularity. We talked so much about the off-speed pitches. They're so unique, some of them. But he's got that power arm to go with it. 2-2. A swing and a miss. There's the changeup. And he strikes out Myers to start the ninth.
He just makes hitters look so bad. You don't see him very often, so you don't get a lot of practice against him. But when a guy's throwing as hard as he does, 96, 97 miles an hour, that changeup that he throws that looks like a slider, that's an equalizer for him. That's a strikeout pitch.
Hunter Renfroe.
He threw him a curveball right there.
One and one the count. The other thing for a closer, we're so used to guys, you know, really honing in on 2 pitches. Some of them, when you think of Mario,
it was like 1. But that was a swing and a miss. Well, Clark's working, you know, with that breaking ball, the 2 changeups and the fastball. I mean, that's a pretty wide repertoire.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And for a hitter, it's just a you can tell hitters are 2 for 47 against him. It's like throwing 2-1 hitters. So I think the hitters pretty much tell you how good your stuff is. And right now, the way the hitters are performing against him puts him right in the upper echelon as far as being tough to hit goes.
Well, 2 strikes on Renfroe, who's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. It'll look good. Strike 3 call. And Renfroe down looking. Back-to-back Ks. Well, tomorrow, back out here a little bit earlier. Ariel Dorado will have the start for the Rangers. A 2-5 record so far in 9 games. It'll be the first time in a while that he hasn't had an opener. Eric Lauer is scheduled to go for the Padres, and he has been really good his last 3 starts. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Couple of youngsters. As Hosmer takes one low for a ball.
Now, the point in time when he came into the game, Jose will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. The 3 best hitters on the team: Myers, Renfroe, and Hosmer. Here's the changeup that doesn't cut.
Now Clerk trying to finish this shutout. Padres only 4 hits tonight. And fouled away, 2-1.
It's just after the 97-mile-an-hour fastball, you just look bad when you try to hit the changeup. Yeah, he has guys just talking to themselves as they walk back to the dugout. Might be the toughest pitcher right now in baseball to hit. 2 for 48 against him.
2-2 up and away. Full count now on Hosmer.
That's all he's got with his fastball right there. 98 miles an hour. He just maxed out with the effort on that pitch. 3-2 after 2 strikeouts. Just threw him a fastball. I got to go with a changeup right here. Yep. Not that I'm telling him to throw it, just that I'm guessing that he will.
Ooh. Just weigh in. Puts Hosmer aboard.
I think he wanted to put the exclamation point on this outing by striking out Hosmer. May have tried too hard.
That's the one thing about Leclerc too. We haven't seen a lot of that. I haven't seen him get into a whole lot of trouble. Most of his appearances in the last, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months have lacked drama. And Neil Reyes, and he misses at 97. And he was late on that. Now he has not seen the off-speed stuff, at least from the perspective of the batter's box. But he was late on that one. So you go back with the heat again. 1-1. Hosmer at first. There are 2 out. And this one up the middle, and that one is through. Reyes is on with a hit.
Padres have a couple of base runners.
Well, give some credit to Reyes. After seeing his fastball, he was able to hit the changeup. He stayed with it. Pretty nice job.
All right, Yohander Mendez took the baseball out to the mound and had a little word with the clerk. Freddie Galvis. Galvis, the switch hitter at the left side, shows bunt and drops it foul. Well, Galvis can't win the game. I mean, they need him to get on. And with 2 outs, his thinking was, if I can bump myself on, give somebody else an opportunity with one big swing, I suppose. The element of surprise gone certainly now. Beltre not dramatically in at third, but wary. And now the count 0-2. And Yohander Mendez signaling back to the plate. I'm not sure that one. Yohander Mendez feels like it was fouled, but it certainly got a piece of C.B. Buckner.
Yeah, that one was fouled right off the noise. I think was hitting C.B. Buckner.
Well, that was a direct shot.
Or you get to the end of the game, one more out to go, one more strike to go, and I get drilled. Nice way to go back into the umpire's room after the game, icing down your ankle.
That is unfortunate for Buckner. Hosmer back to second, Reyes at first. No balls, 2 strikes on Freddie Galvis. And the clerk wants new signs. He struck out Myers, struck out Renfroe earlier in the inning. All right, he's 0-2. And it's fouled away. Well, Kirk has gone with the fastball pretty consistently here these last couple of at-bats. It would seem that he has Galvis set up for the changeup. Galvis 0 for 3 today. He's flied out, grounded out, and struck out. The 0-2.
Yeah, the walk to Hosmer has extended the pitch count a little bit. Pitch number 24 coming up.
Yeah, Hosmer out there at second base now. Reyes, nobody holding him at first. Infield is back. And the 1-2 inside. Evens it up. Well, you can't lose Galvis if you put him aboard. It does bring the tying run to the plate. Again, Yohander Mendez out there.
Austin Hedges on deck circle here, pinch hit. A little more of a long ball threat.
All right, Leclerc's 2-2. Strike 3 called. He got him looking. And Leclerc strikes out the side in the 9th inning, preserving the 4-0 shutout. Yeah, and that scoreless inning streak goes to 17 for Jose Leclerc.
Outside corner, sure was. Galvis didn't like it, but it's right there, touching the outside corner.
Oh, a nifty night tonight for the Rangers, a 4-0 victory
in the opener here in San Diego. And it was just enough offense. Jurickson Profar with another big home run. The story tonight, though, was the pitching, and